First of all, we have a page from Superman 371, drawn by Curt Swan. And I've got a page from Fear Agent, drawn by Tony Moore. Got a Superboy page. This is from the Superboy series from the, I believe, the early 90s, late 80s. Picked this one up because it features Art Adams on inks. Kind of definitely comes through the Art Adams look. This is a recreation of an Invaders cover. Don't recall who the artist was. I did a little bit of research. He's done some indie work. Nobody that really came to my immediate attention, but figured he put a lot of work into this and it was relatively cheap. Page from Weird Western Tales 37 that heavily features Jonah Hex on there. This is a color illustration of Catwoman by one of my buddies from high school, Chris Lynch. He does a lot of children's book illustrations and commercial illustration. Got a Sal Buscema page from Avengers 227. Love this one because it has Tony in the Iron Man costume, my favorite version of the costume, but he has the helmet off. This is the first piece of work that I picked up. It's a Cliff Chang page from Nightwing. And we've got a Bo Hampton page here from Moon Knight. Picked this one up because it features Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, Stephen Grant, and Moon Knight. It's one of the few pages I know of that features all four identities on one page. Like a lot of you, I picked up a Walking Dead page recently. Here's a couple pages that I haven't had a chance to frame yet. This is from The Adventures of Superman 617, also penciled by Charlie Adlard. And this is a Deathlock page from the 90s Deathlock series, drawn by Jackson Geiss when he was calling himself Jackson, not Butch. It's a Sean Phillips X-Men page. And here's a Brent Anderson page from Strike Force Morituri. Huge fan of Marvel's Bronze Age characters, so I had to have a Shang-Chi page. Also a fan of Matt Wagner's work. This is the closest I could get to a Grendel page. Unfortunately, nothing drawn by Matt yet. This is from the original color Grendel series. This page is from the arc drawn by John K. Snyder. Another Bo Hampton page. This is from Legends of the Dark Knight. And my third and last Bo Hampton page is from the 80s Total Eclipse crossover from the Eclipse universe. I liked this one because it featured Airborne on there. One of my most recent acquisitions, and this is a Bill Sienkiewicz Fantastic Four page from when he was penciling the book in I believe the late 70s, maybe very early 80s. Fantastic Four 227. Was able to pick this up. It's a John Totleben just sketch for Antoine Arcade from the Swamp Thing series. This is a Atari Force page. Got my two Nexus portfolios. This is a Don Perlin Defenders page. Not a huge fan of Don Perlin's interpretation of the Gargoyle, but it is early 80s Marvel, so I had to have that. Was able to find a Ryan Sook page relatively cheap. This is from the Arkham Living Hell miniseries. Here are a few of my bookcases. My page dedicated to Mage and Kevin Matchstick. my board games, my other passion that I spend way too much money on. And my last 2 pages. This is from Ambush Bug number 4. And this is a John Byrne page from Lost Generation. That's it for now. Probably there'll be more sooner or later. And I'll give you all an update when there is.